On the night of May 15th, a woman steps into the Flamingo Hotel and Casino, Las Vegas. The air is heavy with cigarette smoke, the clatter of chips, and the buzz of high-stakes tension. The staff know her reputation, but they've never seen her face. She's dressed in fine clothes, wearing expensive jewellery, and clutching a bulky designer bag. Its appearance is awkward. She tries to hide it. Sliding into her seat at the blackjack table, she clocks several familiar faces. The dealer smirks. As always, the assumption is that she's clueless, a wealthy fool with no idea what she's up against. But in truth, she's just come out of hiding. In the past, she's cost them millions. And tonight, she's back, ready to take $100,000 from right under their noses. This time though, there's more than just money at stake. Just outside Cincinnati, Ohio, a 16-year-old dropout is desperate for work. With absent parents fighting their own demons, she's been let down badly. She's just a kid, but being homeless, she's had to grow up fast. The streets are ruthless, and she knows that if she doesn't get a job soon, her chances of survival are slim. With the mob controlling the area, drugs, prostitution, and gambling is everywhere. However, these vices are also her salvation. You see, she lands a job at the local casino in Newport, just over the water. It's not the kind of work she wanted, but it'll do. Working as a casino shill, her job is to keep the suckers playing, especially the rich ones. In fact, she's told to deliberately target the older folks with big balances. Between the hum of slot machines and heavy scent of cigars, her youth and beauty is an asset. It's easy money, and good money too. After the initial trial period, adjusted for inflation, she gets paid around $400 per night. It's the break that she needs, and she doesn't miss a beat. Every night, regardless of her own problems, she's there in the casino, looking glamorous, flirting, and smiling ear to ear, until disaster strikes. Overnight, the United States government is clamping down on gambling and the mobsters who run it. It's like a punch in the gut. Just as life is improving, her hopes and dreams shatter in an instant. At the same time, the Kennedy administration introduces the Wire Act of 1961, prohibiting the use of wire communications to place bets across state lines. In the 1960s, Nevada is the only state to resist the US government's assault on gambling. It's one of the only places in America where casinos are legal. She doesn't just lose her job, everyone at the casino does. Thousands of casinos across the country are shut down immediately. Only those in Las Vegas survive. It's a serious problem for the now 21-year-old girl. She's older, wiser, and has some money behind her. But now, she also has 2 young children to look after. Worse still, her husband has abandoned the entire family. Vanished. With rock bottom fast approaching once more, she takes a job as a cocktail waitress. And the money is poor. Nothing like the casino. Nowhere pays like the casino did. And that's when it hits her. There's only one place where the odds are stacked in her favour. One place where she can immediately make good money and support her kids. One place where she's already an expert. With the heavy regulation of gambling across the country, our shill, Ida Summers, is not the only person headed for Las Vegas. Cheats, crooks, mobsters, and of course, high-rolling gamblers are too. It's one of the biggest economic shifts in US history. The beginning of what will soon be known as Sin City is growing and fast. Imagine a place where huge fortunes are won and lost every night. A place where 1 minute you're broke and the next you've got it all. Ida plans to have it all. But at this stage, she's planning to take the honest route. She lands a job as a supervisor in a casino. However, the expectations are different here. She's explicitly told she needs to work the high-rolling clients fully, even if that means going back to their room. With 2 young children to think about, it's a step too far. She quits. To fill the void, she gets a job as a waitress in the Mint Casino in downtown Vegas. It's less than ideal. 12-hour shifts on her feet aren't fun and the pay is low. Mainly, she's working for tips. Disdain for the casinos is growing. Her financial situation is becoming a real problem. By 1962, she's had enough. Now in debt, her moral compass is slipping. A charismatic regular has been showing her more and more attention. And deep down, she knows he's trouble, although he is good looking. But first, she thinks he must be linked to the Milwaukee crime family. But she's wrong. He asks her to join him for dinner, and she's flattered. And he does have a lot of money. It's an appealing proposition. However, it presents a moral dilemma. Following this path could lead to trouble, the kind of trouble she's been trying to avoid. Quietly, she thumbs through the casino's backroom customer profiling. Who is this guy? And soon, she learns that he's no mobster, but more a casino cheat. For her, that'll work. And so she takes up his offer. The following evening, they dine out by the casino. After, she's giddy. He's funny, charming, wealthy, attractive, and he's fixated on her. Several weeks and a lot of fine dining later, they're a couple. And this is where the secrets begin to flow. The pair visit the Dunes casino one evening and Ida joins her new partner, Buddy Fielding, at the blackjack table. Within minutes, he discreetly removes an ace from the table. Cupped in the open palm of his right hand, he slips it underneath. They've discussed it prior to their visit. Her job is to distract the dealer and look out for Buddy's signal. And when the time's right, he'll give her a signal and she'll place a winning bet. Her hands tremble as she puts the chips down. One wrong move, one misplaced glance from security, and it won't just be the game they lose. Another hand is dealt. This time, he switches the newly dealt card with the one stowed under his right leg. He gives her the nod. 21. It's just like her time in Ohio, except the sucker is now on the other side of the table. But the action isn't over yet. Buddy still has a newly switched card under his knee. To complete their trick, he needs to bring it back into the game. And again, Ida can help him with distractions. A little flirting, a flash of the skin. She's an expert. This tactic is commonly known as hand mucking. The objective is to gain an unfair advantage by manipulating the order in which legitimate cards are played. Swapping out bad cards for good ones during critical moments means that the cheat knows when to bet big or small. The whole thing is reliant on skillful sleight of hand, like a magic trick. It's a risky and difficult manoeuvre to pull off. It's the most blatant form of cheating, which means the consequences are severe when caught. And in the 60s, Vegas is being run by criminals who have no issue with extreme violence. And tonight, casino security are onto them. The floor manager approaches the table. Suspicious, he quizzes the dealer. He takes the deck and begins to count his cards. Inside, the duo are panicking. But this time, they've got away with it. Buddy has already reinserted his spare card. There's nothing the floor manager can do about it. It's an extremely near miss. Moments earlier, they would have been caught, but instead, they're now $10,000 better off. But the best part, unlike her last job, it isn't physically draining. Actually, it's quite exciting. The most exciting part perhaps is the after partying with a newfound lover. A few days later, they do it again and again. Each time is followed by fine dining, jewellery, extravagant hospitality, premium Vegas shows and more. Compared to her $60 a week salary, it's a different world altogether. Buddy, her new lover, wants to take their cheating to the next level. He proposes that they make a more formal agreement. Ida will provide the distractions and cover the casino tables whilst he cheats, but also refine her skills as a spotter. He needed to watch the rat run of suspended catwalks above that the casinos used in the 60s. You see, the casinos don't have digital surveillance yet. Instead, their solution is a network of metal walkways hanging high above the roulette, blackjack and baccarat tables. As people play the games below, casino staff walk above them, watching their every move. When a player's more concerned about what the dealer and the casino staff are doing, it's a dead giveaway, and Buddy knows it. So not only will Ida schmooze people at the table and place bets on his behalf, but she'll take the hit away from him, the true cheater. It works like a dream, and before long, their operation grows. Las Vegas, Reno, and Lake Tahoe. Repeatedly, they bounce from one location to the next. Each time, they're careful to visit a new casino with a fresh set of faces, but quietly, contempt is grown for Buddy. Ida is doing all the hard work and taking all the risks. It doesn't feel right. She wants more. Come 1963, Ida is no longer a naive girl. She wants in on the main action. She wants to learn how to switch cards herself. After a little friction, reluctantly, Buddy agrees to share his secrets in 4 simple steps. It all starts with some basic sleight of hand. First, there's palming a card, a discreet manoeuvre that allows him to remove a card from play without being noticed. Second, hiding the card. For this, Buddy drops his hand under the table where the card is then stowed under the crook of his knee. Third, the swap. During play, when the time is right, the hidden card is exchanged for another. And finally, the return, getting that spare card back into the deck without being noticed. Now this is a time when you're allowed to touch the cards with 2 hands, making it easier than today. She practices over and over again for weeks. 10, 20, even 80 hours a week is spent perfecting her craft. She wants to be the best, better than Buddy. She'll have to be, because she plans to go head on with the most dangerous casinos in all of Vegas. The Stardust, the Sands, the Flamingo, she's going to take them all on. Behind the innocent facade, she's gradually evolving into a hardened criminal. It's a plan ahead of her time, a time when women are the last cheating suspect, and it works in her favour. She always makes the switch and gets her card back in the deck. Now, With both of them switching cards and betting big, they double their profits. For Ida and her kids, it's life-changing. With a stable environment, quality education and a full-time nanny, they experience a life that she never had. Additionally, they move into a better neighbourhood and splurge on more and more treats. And by the end of 1965, she has nerves of steel. The pair are clearing $20,000 per month. It's massive money, equivalent to around $190,000 today. Confidence and greed are on the up. They're getting very wealthy, fast. What could possibly go wrong? Halfway through 1966, Ida is hungry for more. She's about to push her plan to the limits because instead of switching a single card within play, she wants to switch out the entire deck. Imagine that, knowing every single card and its position within the deck. To the average person, it's pure insanity. However, to Ida, there's an opportunity that's too good to be missed here. A stacked deck will make her the mother of Vegas cheats. Plus, it will guarantee her more money than even she can spend. What follows is both cunning and devious. She knows that in order to pull off this switch, she'll need extra help. A small team of cheaters must descend on the table and act together. To ensure full control and solidify their partnership, Buddy and Ida get married. Their first recruit is a trusted friend, Roger. His wife Elizabeth soon follows. Next is John Soares, a known card counter and casino cheat. Between them, they formulate a cunning but simple plan. After picking their mark, Elizabeth, Roger and John will take their seats at the table. If others are present, they'll have to squeeze them out. When the time is right, Ida will take the fourth and final seat. The timing has to be perfect because there's only one moment in each game where this will work, when the dealer shuffles up and asks the player to cut the deck. At this point, John, Roger and Elizabeth need to distract the dealer and shield what is happening from casino security. Ida will make the switch and leave shortly after. This is where Buddy comes in because his job is to take Ida's seat and then play out the combinations that are pre-arranged in the switch deck whilst betting big money. With casino security walking the floor and suspended above, it's incredibly risky. The most challenging phase of their plan is committing to the switch in the first place. To ensure a smooth transition, Ida and her team create a simple set of hand signals. They'll be entering the casino separately and behaving as though they've never seen each other before, so it's a crafty method of communication. A scratch to the nose, a clenched fist on the right cheek, a brush of the arm. They all have their own meaning. It's a wild plan where the stakes couldn't be higher. Getting caught could end in violence, or worse still, an unmarked grave in the desert. In many ways, it's the ultimate gamble. At 9:16 p.m, Ida and her three accomplices enter the Stardust Casino and Hotel. Posing as recreational players, Elizabeth and John take their seat at the table. But there's a problem. As they sit down, an elderly man joins in. In front of him is a freshly poured beverage and a large stack of casino chips. They need to get rid of him. He's drunk and Elizabeth thinks fast. As he sways towards her, she knocks his drink directly into his lap. It all happened so quickly, nobody really knows how it happened. Apologetically, she offers to buy him another drink, but he's already had enough. And now, it's just Elizabeth and John. As the drunk guy leaves, Elizabeth's husband and Ida join them. All seats at the table are now gone, and now they're ready. On minimum stakes, they play a little. Ida flashes a little skin and works her charm as usual. But really, underneath, they're all tense. That all-important moment is coming up. Roger cracks a joke, and as Elizabeth bursts into laughter, John asks the dealer to exchange some chips. For the dealer, it's a lot to process at once, with all of this attention on one side of the table. Meanwhile, Ida has made the switch. The dealer didn't see a thing. Nobody did. She makes her excuses and leaves while the others deal in. Getting caught with a real deck in her bag would be disastrous. It's a seamless transition, because as she gets up, Buddy takes her seat. Now he and the others have memorised much of the deck sequence, and now it's showtime. But first, they throw a few hands so Ida has time to escape. But what follows is a new high. They've doubled their profit and reduced a week's work into just a few hours. The bottom line, nearly $10,000. However, this is the start of a bigger problem, a problem that has been festering for a while, a problem that Ida never thought she would have to face. For over 6 months, the team have been switching decks and winning ridiculous amounts of money. For the casinos, it's less than ideal. On several occasions, their play is halted and the deck is checked. The casino staff are powerless. They haven't got a clue how this bunch are continuously winning. The casino dealers, floor managers and pit bosses aren't the problem though. The initial excitement between Buddy and Ida has worn off. Both of their needs have changed and they're not getting on like they used to. If anything, all this money is making it worse. In a dramatic turn, she leaves him. It's a pivotal point. She's come a long way. It's a chance to quit while she's ahead and focus on her children. But no, she has a criminal mind, and she's not done just yet. Without Buddy, the team forges on. Instead of switching more decks, they focus on extracting more money each time they do it. In the 2 years that follow, they increase their weekly profit by several $1,000s on average. The only trouble is, the casinos are now fully aware. They've realised that deck switching is a problem. At the Stardust Casino, another team, unrelated to Ida and her crew, are caught. The mobsters running it are unforgiving. Plus, around the same time, card counting is growing in popularity. The casinos respond quite aggressively by changing the game. Almost overnight, they introduce shoes at every blackjack table. Instead of the existing single deck of cards, the shoe is designed to hold 4 different decks in one plastic container. The dealer dispenses each card by drawing it downward from the shoe's open mechanism positioned at the front. For Ida, it's a problem, a big problem. These dealing shoes hold 4 to 5 decks of cards, meaning that there are 4 to 5 times the opportunity per shoe, if she can find a way to swap it out. The team thinks she's totally lost her mind this time. That is, until she brings in an acquaintance. Someone desperate for cash. Someone who's fed up with the casino. Someone on the inside. It's 1971 and 4 team members enter the Golden Nugget Casino. Undeterred, they're about to attempt the unthinkable. Ida is carrying a handbag far larger than usual. Inside, a large perspex case with 5 decks of cards preloaded in a specific order. As usual, all 4 of them secure a blackjack table. Nobody else will join in. The dealer is awkward. Directly above him is a steel catwalk. They play a little. A fresh shoe is about to come into play. All 4 team members scan the floor and the signal is given. Within seconds, the dealer and Ida jump into action, trading the casino shoe for hers. It's done, and everyone's tense. They scan around once more. Relief. They appear to have pulled it off. They've got away with it and made more than $50,000 in a single night. Now this strategy is riskier than before, so they reduce the amount of hits that they make, spreading them over many months, all the while increasing the scheme's profitability. Plus, there are only so many casinos, staff and opportunities. Doing it too often isn't a good idea. They need to be careful. They don't know it, but it's not just the casinos that are after them now. Early in the 1980s is business as usual. Everything is set. The table is secured, their dodgy dealer is in place. Ida sits at the table, clutching her bag. Security is out of sight, and the catwalk above is clear. But as she makes her move, the dimly lit casino lights up. Multiple FBI agents spring up from other gaming tables. They're armed and screaming at everyone to get on the ground. There's nowhere to run. It's all over. They find a 6-deck shoe in her bag worth more than $75,000 this time, if it's played right. But how did they catch her? On the 30th of May, Ida appears in a Nevada courthouse. She's charged with the illegal use of gambling cards and swindling casinos across Las Vegas. She hasn't got a clue how they caught her, so she complies fully, revealing the details behind her methods. Investigators are shocked at the simplicity, although Ida is even more shocked when she finds out that they didn't know who she was until the bust. They were operating around a vague tip-off given about a corrupt dealer, working at the table of her switch. With so little evidence and her plea bargain, she receives a gross misdemeanor charge with a suspended sentence, probation, a $2,000 fine, and a lifetime ban from casinos across Nevada. With assistance from the state, Vegas casinos update their procedures to ensure it doesn't happen again, because obviously, they're the only ones that are allowed to play with a stacked deck. Unless of course you're this guy in the next video. Please check it out.